Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm diving into Tom Bower's absolutely devastating takedown of Meghan Markle that's sending shockwaves through royal circles and Hollywood alike. This isn't just another criticism, it's a comprehensive demolition of Meghan's entire, carefully constructed image by one of the most respected royal biographers in the business. Now, I know you guys are excited for more, but before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on, guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now, Tom Bower isn't just some random YouTuber or Twitter commentator. He is a veteran journalist known for his meticulous research, unflinching analysis, and willingness to challenge powerful figures. When Bower speaks, people listen, and what he's saying about Meghan Markle is absolutely brutal. Let me break down his explosive assessment. Bower agrees that Meghan's carefully crafted public image is experiencing a rapid and irreversible collapse, undermined by its own contradictions, a growing perception of inauthenticity, and mounting public disillusionment. The fairy tale is over, folks, and the reality is harsh. At the core of Bower's critique is Meghan's persistent attempt to portray herself as a self-made success story. According to Bower, this narrative is fundamentally incompatible with credible reports of her past being characterized by calculated networking, strategic social climbing, and the deliberate cultivation of advantageous connections, often at the expense of others. Meghan has dismissed these accusations as sexist and defamatory, but Bower argues they persist because they align with a clear pattern of image control and relentless self-promotion that's become increasingly transparent. One of the most fascinating aspects of Bower's analysis is his dissection of Meghan's well-documented emulation of Princess Diana. We've all seen the similar outfits, the studied mannerisms, the carefully staged photo opportunities that mirror iconic Diana moments. But Bower argues this calculated mimicry lacks the spontaneous warmth and genuine emotional depth that made Diana so beloved. While Diana's vulnerability was authentic, Meghan appears rehearsed and theatrical, a performance rather than a genuine expression of self. Bower highlights glaring inconsistencies in Meghan's public statements, like her claimed naivete about royal life despite documented associations with people closely connected to the monarchy. Remember when she said she knew nothing about Prince Harry before meeting him? Bower sees these contradictions not just as isolated incidents, but as a part of a broader pattern of calculated deception designed to shape public perception in her favor. Perhaps most shocking is Bower's assessment of Meghan's marriage to Prince Harry. With thinly veiled skepticisms, he suggests their union may be driven more by strategic considerations and a shared desire for global influence than by genuine romantic affection. He portrays a relationship of mutual convenience rather than deep emotional connection, a partnership built on ambition rather than love. Bower doesn't stop there. He levels serious accusations that Meghan has exploited her children as emotional shields against criticism, strategically deploying carefully curated images and anecdotes to deflect negative attention and manipulate public sentiment in her favor. He argues that her meticulously orchestrated public appearances, managed by PR consultants and stylists, mask a reality that's far less idyllic than the facade she presents. The Hollywood elite once eagerly courted Meghan, eager to bask in her royal glow. Now Bower reports she's experiencing a noticeable decline in popularity, attributed to her perceived unpredictability, demanding nature, and the persistent drama that surrounds her. Industry insiders who once scrambled for her association now view her as more trouble than she's worth. Bower contends that Meghan's contradictory attempts to simultaneously portray herself as a victim, a rebel, a feminist icon, and a global humanitarian have become increasingly unconvincing and self-defeating. The result? A significant erosion of public sympathy and growing disillusionment among former supporters who now see her as more interested in self-promotion than genuine service. The evidence for this decline is mounting and undeniable. The abrupt termination of her Spotify podcast deal and the reported cooling of her relationship with Netflix is severe, as tangible proof of her wanting influence in the entertainment industry. Bower suggests Meghan's insistence on maintaining absolute control over her projects, coupled with perceived lack of substantive content and a reputation for being difficult, has alienated key industry players. Even the traditionally stoic British royal family has reportedly distanced itself from Meghan, signaling a clear shift in their stance and effectively ostracizing her from the inner circle of the monarchy. This institutional rejection represents a devastating blow to her credibility and further isolates her from established power structures. The heart of Bauer's argument is that Meghan's relentless pursuit of a flawless image has spectacularly backfired, leading to the near total collapse of her brand and leaving her increasingly vulnerable to criticism and public indifference. The public, weary of manufactured narratives and carefully orchestrated PR campaigns, craves authenticity, something Bauer believes Meghan is fundamentally incapable of providing given her long-standing reliance on artifice and manipulation. What makes Bauer's assessment particularly devastating is how he delves into the psychological complexities driving Meghan's behavior. He suggests her relentless pursuit of fame and status, coupled with deep-seated insecurity masked by outward confidence, has led her down a path of self-deception and ethical compromise. The carefully constructed facade has crumbled under its own contradictions, revealing a deeply flawed individual struggling to maintain control in a world increasingly resistant to manipulation. Bauer frames Meghan's dramatic rise and fall as a cautionary tale for our times, highlighting the dangers of unchecked ambition and the corrosive effects of fame. Her story reminds us that true success lies not in wealth or fleeting adoration, but in genuine relationships, meaningful purpose, and ethical principles. Qualities Bauer implies Meghan has sacrificed in her pursuit of status and influence. His concluding assessment is bleak and pessimistic. Bauer suggests Meghan has irreparably damaged her reputation, squandered her goodwill, and effectively closed the doors to future opportunities in both entertainment and philanthropy. The path to redemption, if possible at all, would require a fundamental shift in her approach to public life and a genuine willingness to confront her flaws, a transformation Bauer clearly doubts she's capable of achieving. What makes this analysis particularly powerful is that it's not coming from a tabloid or social media critic, but from a respected biographer with decades of experience and a reputation for thoughtfulness. Bauer isn't interested in cheap shots or sensationalism. His criticism is methodical, substantiated, and devastating in its comprehensiveness. The timing couldn't be worse for Meghan. Her Netflix show, With Love, Meghan, has failed to generate significant buzz. Her lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, has produced little beyond a few jars of jam. Her husband's projects continue to underperform. Even Hollywood, once eager to embrace her, seems increasingly hesitant to associate with her brand. This cultural shift has been building for some time. First came the Spotify executive calling her a grifter, then the Netflix rating disappointments, the cooling reception from celebrities who once eagerly supported her, the growing criticism from mainstream media figures who previously treated her with kid gloves. Bauer's assessment doesn't exist in isolation. It's the culmination of a broader pattern of disillusionment with the Sussex brand. What's particularly fascinating is how Bauer connects Meghan's personal failings to broader societal issues. He sees her story as emblematic of our celebrity-oppressed culture, where image often trumps substance and the pursuit of fame becomes an end in itself. Her rise and fall reflect our own complicated relationship with authenticity in the age of social media, where carefully curated personas often mask a far messier reality. For Harry, Bauer's assessment is equally devastating. The prince emerges as a secondary character in his own life story, manipulated and diminished by his wife's ambitions. Once the beloved spare who served his country with distinction, Harry now appears isolated from his family, alienated from his homeland, and increasingly irrelevant in his adopted country. The contrast with his former life couldn't be more stark or tragic. The royal family, meanwhile, continues its steady march forward. King Charles has won admiration for his dignity during his cancer treatment. Prince William and Catherine have demonstrated remarkable grace through their illness. The institution that Meghan and Harry so publicly criticized has not only survived, but thrived in their absence, further undermining their narrative of necessary reform and modernization. Perhaps the most damning aspect of Bauer's critique is his assessment of Meghan's fundamental inauthenticity. In an era where audiences crave genuine connection and transparency, Meghan's carefully constructed persona rings increasingly hollow. The performative vulnerability, the studied sincerity, the rehearsed spontaneity, all appear transparent to a grown savvy about PR manipulation and image management. Bauer's prediction for Meghan's future is grim. Without a course correction, which would require genuine self-reflection and humility, he sees her facing increasing irrelevance and isolation. The Hollywood doors that once opened eagerly will close. The media platforms that once amplified her voice will move on. The public that once embraced her narrative will find new figures to admire. The carefully constructed brand will collapse under the weight of its own contradictions. The tragedy in Bauer's telling is that Meghan had genuine potential. With her platform, resources, and initial public goodwill, she could have made a significant positive impact. Instead, her relentless focus on image control and self-promotion has squandered that opportunity, leaving behind a legacy of unfulfilled promise and cautionary lessons. What do you think? Has Tom Bauer hit the nail on the head with his assessment of Meghan Markle? Is her carefully constructed image truly collapsing under scrutiny, or is this just another attack on a woman who dared to challenge the system? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more unfiltered royal analysis. The fairy tale is over, the carefully constructed narrative has unraveled, and the unvarnished truth, however uncomfortable, has finally been revealed for all to see. As Bauer so devastatingly puts it, the reign is over, and what's left is a legacy of shattered illusions, unfulfilled potential, and a stark reminder that authenticity and integrity ultimately matter more than any carefully curated public image. Ta-ta, and bye for now.